Hey everyone, welcome to Infinite Light. My name is Shawnee. Today I have a message for the collective. I have already pulled some oracle cards and I have instruction from Spirit to pull some more, but I've got 6 oracle cards to get through first. This is this might potentially be seen as kind of a heavy message because I'm talking to those in the collective who feel like as if this last year 2024, this last collection of moon cycles, months, retrogrades, so on and so forth, have really put them through the ringer. I'm talking about folks who have lost their jobs in this last year, have or stepped away from the job purposefully, gotten a divorce, major breakups, had major losses of friends and family members. And I'm not necessarily talking about through like death, okay? I'm talking about you stepping away from relationships that just did not serve you. And it's the message that's coming through from Spirit is it's it's not that you're starting all over again. Spirit wants you to understand that there are lessons that you have had to learn over this last collection of months or year, um, that really needed to be put in front of you because otherwise you would not have been ready for what was meant for you all along. And I was gonna joke and do a message I think last week and say some of you guys have not gone through your healing and it shows. Some of you guys have not taken time for yourself and it shows. Although I don't want to be that lighthearted in the message today because it's actually a pretty serious and potentially heavy message. It's still kind of rings like there are a collection of you that like my personality and that are here because I'm here and like, oh, there's Shawnee. She hasn't been been here in a long time. But then there are those that this message is really going to ring true for. And so I don't want to make light of your journey. But there are some things that you still need to work through in order to be ready for the blessings that are coming towards you. Nothing happens to you, everything happens for you. And I think a lot of people don't really understand what that means. I think a lot of people approach kind of tarot readings and channel messages as sort of a form of entertainment. And I get that it could be that. Yet there are a collection of people that are really looking for guidance throughout this, what has been a roller coaster of a ride, more so than I think a lot of other years in the past for a lot of folks. You know, depending on what your life chapter is, depending on your age, depending on your awareness, so on and so forth. All right, so I pulled from Rebecca Campbell's Starseed Oracle deck. I got 2 cards, but I don't think I'm going to present them necessarily in that order. The first card that I got is the Earth card. This is a card number 62, which I'm being very, very, very strongly called to add that to make an 8. And for me, when I do my channeled messages, 8 means inner strength. And if you look at the picture in this person is encased in a bubble and is descending. A lot of this spiritual talk is always talking about ascension, but I think we need to understand that sometimes we need to meet people where they are. And this person has gone through what felt like internally a descension, but look how protected this person is. Even though for some of you it might have felt like a true tower moment where your whole entire world was taken from you in a blink of an eye, that was a designed tower moment from the universe, from God, from your higher self, however you want to see that higher energy. This Earth card, it says, learn how to be human in the world, but not of it. And I think this is a call for you to understand that um, as you try to ascend from this lower point, as you try to ascend from that tower moment that you had in your life, not to get lost in all of the details of, there's so many spiritual avenues out there, star seeds versus, earth angels versus the chosen ones versus 144, 144,000 or all of it's just so much to take in. What do I do? What do I read? What do I not do? Do I eat meat? Do I literally all of that is hard for a lot of people to digest as they are ascending, as they are healing, because it's like, do I meditate? How do I meditate? Do I do yoga? How do I do yoga? I really want to heal so I can present a better part of myself. But this whole Kundalini activation, this whole twin flame thing, this whole, karmic connection thing, it's all so much. Dark night of the soul, so on and so forth. And so, and at the same time, people are telling me I need to quit my job, I need to quit my, toxic boyfriend or whatever. I need to leave this household that doesn't serve me anymore. I need to move to a new place that's serving my soul. And it's like, okay, but how do I? And this card, I think, is saying, and first of all, number one, an acknowledgement that this is happening, that this has happened, and that it is a lot to take in, especially all at once, especially if you've been asleep your entire life. For me, my healing journey happened, I was in my 40s. And so that's, 40 plus years of being taught this way and that way. And my eyes just now opening up completely, or as much as I think that I can handle in my 40s. That's a lot to have to navigate. So this is, first of all, this is an acknowledgement, that there was kind of like a dissension, or what felt like a dissension in your life, but it was purposeful. And then the second part of this is like, now it's a balancing act. How do I figure out a spiritual journey with a healing journey, with being, a woman in society, with being a man in society, with being, figuring out my sexuality, whatever it is, being a parent, newly released adult or something, something like that, an entrepreneur in this new world. How do I handle all that? So this is an acknowledgement from Spirit saying, listen, you're going through this because there is ultimately something greater for you on the other side, and we acknowledge. I want you to see the duality of these two cards, and then I guess I'll show you this other card. But the other card that I got from this Rebecca Campbell Starseed deck was Cracked Open, and it's not lost on me that this person, and no, all the cards do not look like this in the deck. This person over here is encased in this sort of spiritual bubble, this light that's always being asked of you to imagine you being encased in when you meditate or go through guided meditations, this bright white gold light, right, of protection from the angels, from the higher powers. And then, so here, I'm imagining that this person hits rock bottom and cracks open. And cracks open. And they call it cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. And what is inside this soul? What is inside this person? More light. More light that has been encased in a shell. And this is the idea of, if you have recently hit what people would call a rock bottom or a midlife crisis or something, experiencing a great loss, then it takes, in order to heal, it takes a lot of looking inward. And I think a lot of people will be surprised at how much light they actually carry inside of them, because for so many years, they've been told they had to dim it. Yeah, true, there's a lot of, what they call like dark night of the soul. You have to look at, the negative. the things that really put you into a place of dimming your light to begin with. You have to acknowledge the red flags, not to be victim shaming in any way, shape, or form. At the same time, you have to acknowledge the things that you allowed in, the things that hurt you, when, you became an older person, an older adult, the things that you did not immediately put up boundaries towards, and that now is inside of you. But how glorious is this card that is showing how much light really does reside within you? This is an idea of, dare I say, a death and a rebirth. And that's this card that we got from the Egyptian God Oracle deck. This death and rebirth, this Osiris card. And so on one hand, we felt like as if we were descending because our ego told us at this point in our life, we're supposed to be this, that, and the other. Our ego, our society, the things that we called norm said at this point in our life, we need to be doing this. 2:22 on the time, and my head is itching, okay? But, so we felt inwardly like as if we were descending. We've hit this proverbial rock bottom, which is what this card is called, and we cracked open. But it's not a full death. I have been through, in my 42 years on this planet, I have been through so much that maybe others who weren't as fortunate as I am, as far as my inner drive to overcome, would have just laid down and quit. And we all know those people who have been through and then they literally have quit. And quit years ago. And for years they've just been in shambles. For years they've just been in hiding. For years they've just been an absolute mess, right? So I feel lucky and blessed that I was able to alchemize. And here's the word alchemize is at the bottom of this card. A shadows, multiple demons into a rebirth of my own. And this is what Spirit is saying. If you haven't started doing this, this is your wake-up call to do so. And if you have started doing this, there's still forward momentum for you to bring in the blessings that you've been waiting for. This idea of this death does not just end there. Otherwise, you'd have been gone. There's a rebirth in this card. They're saying to this is a meditation card. But it's not necessarily a call. Oh, more spiritual stuff, Shawnee. No, not that. It's not necessarily a card of saying you need to sit down and meditate and wait for Spirit to tell you this and that. No. This is a connection. This goddess, her name is Nephti. I used to speak Egyptian, I guess, in a previous life. I don't speak it now. So forgive me if I'm mispronouncing her name. But this goddess is the goddess of the sky. And so this is saying not only to look within, but to look up into the universe for guidance and for help. Not even just that, acknowledging, and I heard this earlier today, and I think there's a reason for everything. Nothing is by accident. Acknowledging that even if you cannot feel the universe's presence, your guardian angel's presence, your spirit guide's presence, God's presence, it's always there. It's always wanting to connect. And whether you're consciously connecting, it's always touching you. And it's always connecting. The whole idea of we're all one. You're not alone in this journey to your ascension. There's no place else to go but up. I also want to call that this cracked open card is a number 52. 5 and 2 is 7, which for me is a reveal. This is a call to Reveal who you truly are. Reveal yourself in love, in connections. Reveal yourself to yourself. You know, the whole idea of a diamond is only created from pressure. But is it light where diamonds grow? No, it's encapsulated. But in order for us to be able to harvest a diamond, mine a diamond, something needs to be opened, cracked open, unearthed. And that idea is you. You need to crack yourself open, acknowledge at how far you have come, and give yourself grace, and realize and truly realize the light within you, and reveal that. When you feel comfortable, you're being called through this message to reveal your light, your purpose to the world around you. I wrote a note that said, let your past sorrows turn you into an instrument of love. And I got that because of the alchemy word at the bottom, and this like cloud in the back looked like a heart. Those people I was referencing earlier, the people that experience these hardships in life and just give up and they stay stagnant, that light is still in them, but they've decided not to acknowledge, and they don't want to. They've got this fear around them, and they don't want other people to see what they have to offer. So you want to embody the opposite of that. I'm also being called to show you this other card that I got. This is a Genesis card. And Genesis is the origin of something, being formed from something. Alchemy, taking random things to create something beautiful, something shiny, something golden, something out of nothing. Do not be afraid to start from what you feel like is nothing, but it's not starting over from scratch, because what you have in here and in here is experience. The experiences that you have gone through actually make you richer, more abundant than the person that chose to stand still. This is a contentness card. Contentness. No, we want to do the opposite of that. All right. So this is the completeness card. This is the god Neptune. The god Neptune is actually pictured here with a lotus flower on the top of his head. And a lotus, it closes every night, and then every morning it blooms back up. The idea there is that as you go inward, remember this idea of this person that stands still, right? As you go inward, look inward. But do not stay inward. Allow yourself to bloom and to give energy to your day every single day. This idea of people being in the present. The lotus flower, I'm about to sound real, I don't know, monkish with this, right? But the lotus flower does not pay any attention to the night before when it was closed. And nor does the lotus flower think of the next day as it blooms. The lotus flower is just the lotus flower. It ebbs and flows, and it only pays attention to its current self in its present moment. When it's closed, and when it's open, it's open. I went that route to illustrate being in the present. Because if you're constantly focusing on this past, what you thought was a descension, what you thought was a true fall from grace, from ego, what you thought your life was going to be at this moment in time, then you're going to bring about depression. And if you focus too much into the future, you're going to bring about anxiety. And that doesn't allow that depression and that anxiety that you're harboring in your thoughts constantly. Well, where am I going to go from here? When is this new lover going to come into my life? When is this money I'm being promised and every tarot reader going to drop into my lap? That's anxiety. That's not actually taking an active role to alchemize. Alchemy is a word on here, remember? That is not taking an active role to alchemize the future that you deserve, the blessings that are just waiting for you to realize. And as cheesy as it sounds, because I'm looking at this card, you know, they say in spiritual talk, that everything that you need, you already have. And so this idea of just looking inward and realizing that you have the light within you to manifest whatever you need outwardly, it's already there. I am being called to pull some tarot. Spirit, what is it that you need to tell the collective this message of finding themselves? Spirit, what is it that, you know, I'm reminded that if you look at these two cards, wow, it's kind of making me feel emotional. I feel like there's some people out there that are literally just feeling like really emotional, like heard. Like there are people in this collective that really do feel as if the life that they thought they were promised is never going to happen. The life that they thought that they had made for themselves previous to this life-changing incident that they recently had is just, what was that all for? And I don't want you to look at your past and say that it was all for naught. Because like I said earlier, that you're being called to take a look at the things that happened in your life and really pause and stand in a sense of open-mindedness. And really, really, really let ego go and say, okay, where was the lesson in this? And how can I apply that lesson to my future? Spirit, help me deliver a clear and concise message to the collective through these tarot cards. What is it that you need to say? We got the Ace of Cups. Got meditation twice with the Four of Swords and this actual meditation card. I'm hearing like a connection. I also got the Page of Earth. I'm hearing very, very strongly like an intuitive connection that is really going to bring about happiness. It is not it was not for any, it happened, everything happened for a reason, and the reason is a rebirth. Everything happened for a reason, and a reason is rebirth. I'm also hearing that this ace of water is love. Love not just within you though. There's love around you. This is you learning new ways of existing this sort of spiritual world and this 3D world, navigating. And that's what this card was also calling you to be able to find a balance between. Give me more on this Ace of Cups, please, Spirit. This is I'm hearing a relationship, but I want to know. And there's also, look, there's like lotus flowers. They look like water lily, but it's kind of the same idea, right? So this Ace of Cups was clarified by the Sun card. I'm really getting this, like this immense happiness that's on the other side of this experience that you are having. This learning moment, this pause, this reflection. You are really being asked to reflect. You are really being asked to be studious in this. Have a growth mindset, they used to say in my previous career. Have a growth mindset. Be open to learning. Be open to re-experiencing your past. But from this time, try to have as much as a non-biased sort of attitude about it. Not a victim mentality. Not a I'm going to get back at them mentality. Not a, cursing them mentality. Not that. It's just more of like stepping back and really being asked to study the things in your past, the events in your past that brought you to where you are right now. It's the same message over and over. But I am going to get 2 more cards. Do you see where it's leading? It's being honest. It's being honest with yourself. You got 2 aces here, okay? It's being honest with yourself. It's being honest about the experiences. It's being honest about the role that you might have played. Again, I'm not victim shaming or blaming. Depending on the experience, it may not necessarily be the role that you played, but being honest about the role that the other person played, the other that society was playing. And then how can you honestly make a change that, ensure it doesn't happen again, right? Because it's all about your emotional balance and harmony right now. Spirit is giving you 2 different things. I'm hearing love so that you can create more love. That's this cups. And then it's learning and being honest about situations. That's this Ace of Swords. Something else that I recently read about the Ace of Swords is just because it's an Ace of Swords, look at the sword, it's double-sided, it's 2-sided. So that's where the honesty, the humility, the integrity comes. And that's why I said, what role did you play? Not every honest communication is going to be happy, is going to be joyful. Sometimes it's really going to be kind of a stab in the rib cage, like, dang it, I did do that. I did say that. I didn't say that. I didn't do that. This honest sort of reflection. But like, there's no need for you to worry. And the fact that this 10 of Cups is coming up is, this 10 is reflecting to me as harmony with emotions, being able to share the harmony with somebody else, with other people, with your kids, with your pets, with your environment, with new coworkers, with new partners. with a new lover, so on and so forth, right? But the 10 is also really coming strong for, new beginnings, endings, the wheel of fortune, right? Like this is all meant to be. Ultimate happiness. But you can't get to a happy place after experiencing the things that you've experienced without really reflecting. I'm going to get some oracle cards from the Ask Your Guides oracle deck. I just want to get maybe, let's say, 2 cards for the collective. This is definitely a message of healing, acknowledgement. This is confirmation for some. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please, please, please go ahead and do so. I am here for you. But I'm also in the middle of a healing journey myself. So I come sporadically. I do. I come when I'm being called. I don't always, I said something where I said, I just wasn't feeling healthy today. So I didn't want to exude that energy onto you. But now at this point, it's like everybody needs to understand that everybody's going through something. We're all going through something, and we never really truly know or even understand what our neighbor is going through. But here's me being honest with you. I'm healing too. I really am. The first card is limitation. And it's this idea of shed that shell. Do not, other people have limited you. Do not play that role once you've cut those people out of your life. Do not limit yourself. It's also this idea of really pay attention to what and who you allow into your energy. It's twofold. Protect yourself. This is the 8 coming through again as your inner power. Protect yourself so that you can really truly realize that inner power, that inner light. It does not need to be shared with everyone. That's what got us, and a lot of us, in trouble in the past, was that we were sharing our light. We were trying to heal. We were trying to help. We were trying to help change. It's not about them anymore. It's about us. It's about you. So limitations, okay? And then we got endings. Look at that. Remember I was talking about the 10? Watch the new things coming towards you. There's definitely some moon energy. We're in the middle of a 10-10 portal right now. On the 2nd, we just had a new moon. Then we got so much moon energy. There's this idea of these eclipses and these full moons in the very recent past and soon to come up here in the future. I think next week, this moon energy really making an impact on our lives and the lives of those that used to be in our energy, that we are releasing, that we are walking away from, that we are releasing, that we are walking away from. Endings. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 is drawing near. Endings. 4 is finding stability through the number 5, which is change. Endings. Let's leave with one more oracle card before I let you go. I know that this is a long message. Please like and subscribe. And if you've made it this far, put a flower down in the comments down below. Put a flower. I'm going to show you my grandma. I got this from my grandma years and years and years ago. And I just saw that and I said, okay, put a flower down below. All right, one more message for the collective, please. Oh, we got 2. The first one we got is King Tide. Plenty, prosperity, receiving the fullness of life. Allow yourself to shed. Give yourself no limitations so that you can receive the fullness of life. It's confirmation after confirmation. It's really that king, that idea of the king gives me like the idea of the emperor in the tarot deck. Like, be the leader within yourself, lead yourself out of the limitations that others and yourself have put on you. Lead yourself through this healing journey with intention. Cleansing. I like this, and it gives me this idea of the moon card again. At first, I thought these were two towers on the side of a light, but this is actually faces with a light in between. But I still get this idea of this moon card, like this intuition, using your intuition, going within, and pulling out the things that you have had in the shadows, and really with a growth mindset, like I said, like really evaluating where you can make changes, what you can learn from, releasing the old, an energetic tune-up, new beginnings. Confirmation. What does this card say to you with the two faces? This is a really powerful looking card. It's this identity. It's this idea of, we have been carrying around two personas our entire lives. Our true self, which had been dulled and dumbed down for so long. And then this outward facing sort of mask. And it's like, okay, it's time for you to let your light shine. The true self, release it. Just open yourself up and allow yourself to be out, to share your love. Remember, I said, let your past sorrows turn you into an instrument of love, and let it be revealed. Okay, guys, thank you so very much for sharing your time with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.